Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another Zombies video, and this one's going to be a Vanguard Zombies video. Uh, Sledgehammer and Treyarch just tweeted out some teaser images and teaser GIFs on Twitter, so I want to go over it really quickly. This is actually the second one that you're seeing on the screen that came more recent, as you can see at the bottom at 150, and that was from Sledgehammer Games, and it shows who might be like the evil villain. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be the evil villain for Vanguard Zombies. And there's a couple things that came up with this, but I'm actually showing that first because it's actually one of the coolest ones. And then most of this is going to be about the first image, and it's actually pretty exciting. If I think where they're going with this, because like I mentioned before, with the Chaos story. The Chaos story was a good idea. It just needed to be reworked and maybe brought up to modern times. And there was a recent movie, I think, called Army of the Dead that was on Netflix that dealt with Greek mythology, but in modern times. And I think that's kind of the route that Treyarch probably should have done the first time around, even though it was still pretty good. It was good to visit some of the historic sites like the Titanic and the Roman Colosseum and stuff like that. But it is kind of cool to mix it up with some maybe a little bit more modern time. And I think this is actually tying all that together in a couple different ways, which I'm gonna kind of explain. So the first image is this one. I'm actually not gonna even talk much about the characters, or I will about the villain, but I don't want to assume that is Richtofen, but it might be evil Richtofen, or the new version, or the new character that's similar to him. It might not actually literally be Richtofen, because I think it might have been confirmed that the Dark Ether story is continuing with the next Treyarch game, not necessarily with Sledgehammer and Raven's game. So this might just be a similar character. Maybe that's why they brought back Richtofen to remind people that there were evil villains in World War II era. That's just some assumptions, and I know that might turn people off just in case if it ends up being correct. That people want Primus and Ultimus to be back and Victus and stuff like that, including myself. But this might just be somebody similar to him. That back then there was somebody similar, or maybe just kind of sort of like a recasting. Again, those are all just assumptions. Either way, I'm cool with it. Richtofen's cool. If not, again, there were always evil villains. Even in last Sledgehammer World War II game, there were villains that were similar to the Treyarch story and stuff like that. Kind of clashing like all the studios. Like you're getting some Chaos stuff. You're getting some World War II. Sledgehammer World War II zombies, and then you're getting some Treyarch stuff in there. So it's actually kind of cool seeing almost like all the worlds colliding in a sorts, all in one big picture. So what I'm actually going to go over is the bottom part where it says Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies. And again, this is super duper clever, genius thinking by Call of Duty and Treyarch. And I always want to point that out to people that like they're the most clever and smart people. Like I never even saw this coming. Like demonology, was one thing that we expected, but what they're going for is pretty clever. I don't know if it's gonna be like an undertone or the actually main theme of Vanguard Zombies, but everything below in this logo relates to money. This could be related to the zombie currency that we use. I'm gonna call it zombie bucks or zombie dollars. The O could be like the Illuminati. How people always say the Illuminati controls the money in the world. M obviously being for money, or for some crazy reason it could be like Monty or something like that. You know what's even funny? But I'm not even gonna go into that. Actually, I probably should, but hopefully I won't get anybody in trouble. That almost mimics, in a way, Activision's logo with the V coming below the actual other letters. So that's actually super clever if that is what was intended, how that could be zombie bucks, that could be the Illuminati. I don't know about the O. That could be just M for money, and then it also kind of mimics. And I don't have that in front of me, but you can Google Activision's logo. That's actually pretty clever that they would put that in there. B, obviously, if you can see it or you don't, is Bitcoin. It mimics the Bitcoin B. And then I and E, I'm not going to look into or draw too many conclusions. But the S, obviously, it was the one that gave it away. I'm like, wait, that looks like the dollar sign. Then I went back and looked at the other logos. I'm like, wait, that looks like the Bitcoin logo, and that looks like the Zombies logo. So it looks like it's going to be themed, and I'll show you what all this means. But I'm like, wow, it looks like it's going to be themed around the Illuminati and how they control the money of the world, and money controls the world. Either like a direct main theme or an undertone. Again, it's so super clever how they do stuff like that. I think it's like pretty cool. So I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm talking about. Again, the B being Bitcoin, and you can see how the digital version of that mimics kind of this digital stuff here. How it's kind of like how everything's like digital currency. Like I said, to bring the Greek mythology up to modern times is gonna be a win. And as soon as I played um Chaos Story, I'm like, it's a great idea, but Scarlet and the crew were too I don't want to say boomer like, but it was too like olden times. They should have gave what they did with Scarlet and COD Mobile and how they made her really cool and updated like a superhero. That's kind of what Chaos needed. And I'm hoping that's what they're doing. That's not necessarily, again, like what I mentioned in the past, doesn't necessarily mean we're getting the Chaos characters back, but we're getting the Chaos theme. To bring all that, like, Greek mythology stuff up to modern times. I know it's not exactly modern times. I know it's still, like, World War II, which is like 80 years ago, or, yeah, like 80 years ago is a cool idea. Again, that's what that kind of mimics. The B bulging out a little bit past the top B is exactly what that kind of looks like. Um, Z for zombie dollars. The O was the Illuminati O, or the I flipped upside down. That is pretty obvious. So that was pretty cool. The M being for like money, or this is actually just a slideshow, so it's not like I have the website open. I could do that, but if you kind of Google the Activision logo, that's super clever, and I think it might be kind of funny. Obviously that was B. I'm actually at the same time trying to spell out like zombies. What they did B for Bitcoin. You can see like the digital crypto stuff is pretty cool. And then the I and the E, I don't really know. I'm not gonna try and come to too many conclusions. But the S being for um, the dollar logo is another really cool idea. And the other thing I wanted to kind of point out, if you see the evil villain, he has three eyes. So I did a quick Google cross-reference of like third eye in Greek mythology, and it came up funny enough about the raven is considered the third eye, or they can have like a third eye because they can see like the future and stuff like that. Which is another clever thing if that's what they're doing. So I'm like cracking my knuckles because I'm like so nervous and excited at the same time. It says in Greek mythology, ravens were associated with Apollo, the god of prophecy. In most recent times, such as in George Martin's magnum opus that has redefined small screen television. Regular ravens are messenger birds, but the third-eyed raven is an all-seeing. I don't know what they're talking about a third eye, unless I'm missing it in the picture. The third-eye raven, whose power is destined to become the guardians of to travel back in time of past events. So this actually all pretty much dives together. Um, and I think, like I mentioned on Twitter, it's pretty clever, pretty exciting. So I can't wait to see. And it's the way they can piece stuff together, and make a great story out of it already. Like that's the thing with people, and I know people are still gonna complain. It seems like such a great setup for a good story that, and I'm gonna touch on that really quickly because it kind of came up. People, I feel, hang on to their youth and past too long, or for too much, or too long. they don't want to move on to newer and better things. And I mentioned that in Cold War, and I think I may even mentioned it in Black Ops 4. People aren't willing to try new things because the more they try new things, the further and further they get away from their childhood and being young. And that's something that's really an eye opener. Realizing when you talk to people on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that, and even in Discord, people don't. People are so scared. The Peter Pan syndrome, I guess. They're so scared to move away from their childhood and become an adult. They hold on to every little thing in their childhood. Like if you take away every little thing from their childhood, they would literally like freak out. Um, and this, I think, is a cool idea, a cool theme that it looks amazing. It's an interesting topic about maybe money, Illuminati, demons, and greed, um, and then maybe bringing it to the digital era and stuff like that. The guy in the background, again, it might be like Apollo. I don't know what Greek mythology. I know there was a guy like that in that looked like him in the Chaos story, so I don't know exactly. That I have to research a little bit more because I did look up some stuff and nothing really came about. I looked up like Greek mythology crypto, Krypton. I know there was a recent COD mobile character Cryptus, so that might have been like a clue. Again, people still don't know or realize or bother looking into stuff that like a lot of these studios and games now are all intertwined and maybe somewhat in the same universe. That maybe Cryptus or something like that might have been a hint for this guy. Maybe his name's gonna be Cryptus or Crypto or something like that. And again, that would be so cool and exciting to see how everything now kind of jives together. Again, bringing it up to modern times about cryptocurrency and Illuminati, and people are kind of say that cryptocurrency might be controlled by Illuminati, getting the money all into one hand or something like that. But those are all pretty exciting stuff. I'll see you guys later.